So, just like an anecdote can tell a personal story to someone, and that is a great way to connect and really get information across in a way that's interesting and engaging to your listener. And that's basically how you become friends, right? You talk about a topic that's interesting to you, you share a personal experience, that person shares a personal experience, you get to know each other, and you move from acquaintances to friends. That's the way our that's the ability of a story, is to move people from strangers to friends. I think that that's really impressive. If you're in the business world and you're watching this because you're trying to sell something or be a better presenter in general, then you also have to learn the storytelling art in a more general fashion, not just anecdotes. Anecdotes are great for introducing a subject. If you're a presenter, telling an anecdote before you get into the presentation is a really great way of connecting what your audience thinks even before they get the information, right? If you're in the if you're in the advertisement business, then you talk about an experience you've had with advertisement where you were actually surprised, like actually surprised by something you saw, an advertisement you saw. And by telling them, by sharing that information, then you go on to explain that's why we should do this and this and this. From my personal experience to my opinion as to what we should do. To be able to make a great presentation and a great story, you should really make both build both in a similar fashion. I'm going to give you this chart here, and that is the 5 acts, right? The first act is an introduction, second act is a complication, the third act is a turning point, the fourth act is a reversal, and the fifth act is closure. When you think about all the movies you've watched, all the books that you've read, you can really break down anything into these 5 acts. The same thing should be true for your presentation in general. You should have an introduction. That introduction should be stimulating because, let's face it, the beginning and the end is what people remember, okay? Let's just put it out there. Have a great beginning, have a great closing, because those are the things that really stand out in people's minds. The reason to make Act 2, Act 3, and Act 4 is because they're the drama. And that drama can really inspire people to change the way they think. Most people will remember the beginning and the end, but if your presentation is really good, like a story, it's going to blow their minds. Their minds will be blown. So, when you're watching this, if you're not in business, this is about telling a story, your anecdote that will bring you closer to the person you're talking to. If you're watching this from a business perspective, this is the way to make presentations stand out, get information to other people in a way that will really be memorable. So, first 2 things you've got to remember are your introduction and your closure. Those are the things that most people will remember. Okay. Let's think about a simple story. I want you to think of a childhood story that you've heard. I'm sure you have one. Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, what are the other ones? There's all these princesses, think about your own culture. Think about stories that your grandparents told you. Little Red Riding Hood, any one of those stories. I want you to tell the story in a video like this one, especially if you don't want to practice an anecdote. I'm going to, in the homework section, I'm going to have an anecdote sheet. I would love you to tell me an anecdote. I told you an anecdote. I feel like it's only fair, but I understand Maybe you can't think of something, it's too embarrassing, that's fine. Just tell the story, a childhood story, okay? When you tell the childhood story, try to break it up into an introduction of the characters. That's going to be your act one. What was the first complication? What was the turning point? What was the reversal? And what was the closing act? Usually they live happily ever after. Okay. Remember, if you're from a non-Western culture, it would be better if you told a story that you knew really well. You can even add something to that story. You can add details. You can practice your vocabulary, practice speaking for a longer period of time. Give yourself 5 minutes. You can do it. It's 5 acts, 5 minutes. I think that's enough. That's if it's not enough, make it longer. I'm listening. Um, like you saw, my anecdote wasn't polished. I haven't told that to a lot of people. I could introduce it better. I could polish it up. I could make it more of a story. So in the practice section, in the comment section below, please make a video. You can tell an anecdote, something that happened to you. You can tell a story, a folklore, children's story. Yeah, just make sure you have 5 acts. Or alternatively, you can practice a presentation that you've already given or that you need to give in the future. Either way, try to use an anecdote in your introduction. I'm here for you. I can give you comments. If you don't want comments, just send the link and say, no comments needed. That's fine too. I will watch it just to watch it. All right. So keep trying, make mistakes, and keep going. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.